He walks into the gym before the sun even rises, his face calm, his body focused. This is his sanctuary. This is where it all begins. The smell of leather gloves and sweat is in the air, the echo of punches bouncing off the gym walls like a war drum. And in the middle of it all stands a man who has already done what most fighters only dream of. Canelo Alvarez, the pride of Mexico, the face of boxing, the undisputed king at 168 pounds. And yet, despite everything he's accomplished, he trains like he has something to prove. Like he's still chasing something. And maybe he is. Because for Canelo, it was never just about the belts. It was about the journey, the sacrifice, the discipline, the fire that started when he was just a boy fighting in the streets of Guadalajara. Back then, he wasn't the star. He wasn't the icon. He was just a red-headed kid with a chip on his shoulder and a dream too big to measure. He had to fight his way into respect, into recognition, into greatness. And now, even with championship gold around his waist, he still trains like the underdog. Still acts like there's more work to be done. Because to him, there is. Every punch Canelo throws in the gym has intention. Every movement has purpose. He doesn't waste energy. He doesn't show off, he just works. The way he hits the mitts is almost hypnotic, tight, sharp, compact. No wasted motion. Years of repetition turned into instinct. His footwork is smooth, efficient. He glides across the canvas like it's second nature, and in many ways it is. This ring, this grind, this rhythm, it's home. He's surrounded by a team that knows him better than anyone. Eddie Reynoso. At his side, watching every movement like a hawk. They don't speak much during training, they don't need to. A nod, a gesture, a glance says everything. That's what happens when you build trust through war. Through blood, sweat, and championships. Their bond is one forged in discipline, in loyalty, in success. Canelo's training is meticulous. Everything is mapped out. Road work at dawn, strength and conditioning in the afternoon, technical drills in the evening. It's a full-time job, but he treats it like a calling. There's no half-stepping, no shortcuts. He doesn't believe in luck. He believes in preparation. That's what separates him from the rest. It's not just the talent. It's the obsession with improvement. You see it in the way he studies film. Hours spent watching himself, breaking down his own habits, his own tendencies, looking for the smallest mistake. Then watching other greats, absorbing, analyzing, always learning, always evolving. He doesn't just want to win. He wants to dominate. To control every second of every round. And that control comes from work done when no one's watching. But the gym is only one part of the process. Outside those walls, Canelo lives the life of a champion with the discipline of a monk. His diet is strict. His recovery is sacred. Sleep, hydration, balance, it all matters. He's not out partying, not chasing headlines. He's focused. Always. Because he knows the price of greatness, and he's willing to pay it over and over again. People look at Canelo now and see the suits, the fame, the luxury cars, but what they don't see is what got him there. The grind behind the glamour, the endless miles run before dawn, the countless rounds in the ring, the pain, the exhaustion, the sacrifice. They don't see the teenager who left school early to train, the young man who fought grown men in back alley gyms for a few pesos. They don't see the fear he had to conquer, the pressure he had to absorb, the criticism he had to ignore. They just see the finished product. But Canelo remembers every step. He remembers what it felt like to be doubted, to be overlooked, to hear people say he wasn't fast enough, wasn't slick enough, wasn't smart enough. He remembers what it felt like to be a boy in a man's world. But he never complained. He just kept working, kept proving, kept building. And now, years later, he stands as a living example of what obsession, discipline, and belief can create. But Canelo isn't done. Not even close. That's why he's back in the gym before the cameras arrive. That's why he's hitting the bag until his hands bleed. That's why he's shadowboxing alone after everyone else has gone home. Because in his mind, there's always another level. Always a way to improve. Always someone out there trying to take what he's built And he won't let that happen. You can see it in his eyes, the intensity, the focus. He doesn't smile much in training, doesn't joke around. This is serious. This is sacred. Every round, every rep, every drop of sweat is part of the mission. He's not just fighting opponents, he's fighting time, fighting doubt, fighting complacency, and he's winning. Watch him work the heavy bag. Each shot thuds like a drumbeat. His body shots are vicious, short, brutal, efficient. They're not for show. They're for breaking people, for wearing them down slowly, mentally and physically. That's what makes Canelo so dangerous. He's not just powerful. He's precise, calculated, cold-blooded. He doesn't just throw punches. He delivers them with meaning, with malice, with mastery. Watch him spar. He doesn't waste a step. He doesn't chase. He sets traps, baits counters, controls the tempo. It's not just athleticism, it's IQ, experience, awareness. He sees punches coming before they're thrown. He slips, rolls, counters with exact timing. That's the part people miss. The mind. Canelo's mind is sharp. His ring IQ is elite. That's what years of fighting the best will do to you. That's what separates champions from legends. And when sparring ends, he doesn't relax. He reviews. He questions. What could have been sharper? What moment was missed? He's obsessed with the details. It's not enough to win. He wants to be flawless. That's the mindset. That's the difference. Away from the ring, Canelo's demeanor is calm, quiet, almost humble. He doesn't boast. He doesn't need to. His record speaks for itself. His resume is a Hall of Fame list. Multiple divisions, undisputed titles, names that echo through boxing history. And yet you won't catch him talking about legacy. He lets others do that. He's not concerned with praise, he's concerned with performance. But the fans, they see it. They know. In Mexico, he's a hero, a symbol of pride, a walking monument to hard work and excellence. Kids look up to him not just because he wins, but because he represents what's possible. That if you work hard enough, stay focused, and never give up, you can rise, you can overcome, you can conquer. And Canelo carries that responsibility with him. It fuels him. He's not just fighting for himself anymore, he's fighting for his country, for his team, for everyone who ever believed in him. That's why the pressure never breaks him. It sharpens him, turns the heat into fuel, turns expectations into motivation. That's what makes him dangerous. He thrives in the fire. As training continues, the energy in the gym grows. You can feel something building, something big. Canelo's punches sound louder. His movements look sharper. The mood is serious, focused, no distractions. This is the quiet before the storm. The work before the war. And Canelo is ready. He's ready because he's put in the time, ready because he's paid the price. Ready because he's climbed the mountain before and knows the path, and now he climbs again. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. Because he loves it. Because he's addicted to the process. Because this is who he is. A fighter. A warrior. A craftsman. And when the cameras come back, when the bright lights shine and the crowd roars, he'll be ready. Ready to remind the world why he's the best, why he's still on top, why no matter how many years go by, how many challengers come and go, Canelo Alvarez remains the standard. He doesn't chase greatness, he lives it. Every single day,